how are things going in the studio for you so far?
Good. He's quite quick, this lad. It's Claudio Tilicante. I've been working with him for a couple of years live, but I haven't had the chance really to record anything. And it's his first time in the studio with me. He's doing a great job. Really, really good. Just sounds really cool. The best thing is he's got a really great groove that he has when he plays, which I really wanted to capture. So it's going very well.
Well, that's definitely great to hear. How exactly would you say that the King of Metal is going to be compared to your previous work?
Well, on this album, it's a little bit more back towards my classic metal style. It's closer to the Silicon Messiah and 10th Dimension album, really, in the way that I've done it. I didn't plan it that way. That just seems to be how it's worked out. You know, I never try and plan these things, but yeah, it's happening like that. So, but it sounds really good. The songs have really come together now, and it's going to be another couple of weeks till I get to the vocals, but I'm really excited about it. All the demos that we've done and the rehearsals, everything sounded very strong, very positive.
Well, that's really awesome to hear. What would you say is probably like one of your favorite moments of creating the album so far?
I think probably I was doing. I had an idea to do a tribute song to Ronnie James Dio, and I think when that actually came together and I heard the drums play it for the first time, that was a very, very special moment, because the late Ronnie James Dio he was my inspiration to start singing. So that's good. So that was really cool, and I'm hoping that the song turns out well and the fans enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very sad time when he passed, and he's still fondly remembered. And there's a lot of people making sure to do tributes to him, and everything is going to sound great. And it's sad that he's gone. Who exactly would you say right now is mainly in charge of writing the music and the lyrics for King of Metal?
Well, I don't know who the top people are. On my album, I've written all of the lyrics, yeah, and quite a bit of the music. I've been working very closely with a new young guitar player called Thomas Svensson, and he's been a co-writer on most of the songs, and it's worked out very well. So I'm really excited about the King of Metal album coming out. The title track, The King of Metal, that song is dedicated to the fans, because the fans are the real King of Metal. Without heavy metal fans, there is no heavy metal. And I think that the people trivialise that and disrespect heavy metal fans a lot of the time, compared to fans of pop and jazz. So I've called the album The King of Metal as a tribute to heavy metal fans who have made it possible for me to have such a wonderful career and to spend so much of my life as a professional singer.
That's definitely a very interesting take, because one would probably think from just the name, The King of Metal, it would almost seem like that they might think that you're putting yourself up on that pedestal. Would you say that maybe some of those assumptions might be correct, just because of how long you've been in the game and the work that you've had to the game?
Well, I couldn't possibly say that. But Ozzy is the godfather of metal. Dio was a metal god. So it's up to other people to decide who is the King of Metal. For me, the King of Metal is the fan who comes to my concert, buys my CD and buys my T-shirt and shouts and screams along with me while I'm playing my songs. That's the King of Metal for me.
Yeah, that definitely makes all kinds of sense. A live setting and a great audience can really make a whole lot of difference. On your website, you list musicians for European tour, like live or session musicians. Do you plan to continue with this method, or do you think that you'll settle with a stable lineup anytime soon?
Well, I'm a solo artist now because the strain of trying to keep a full-time band together when there's no gigs is just too much. And you've got no money coming in, but you've still got to pay everybody's wages. It's too much. It made me ill. So what I'm doing now is I find the people that I'd like to write with and work with, and then I get them together to record the album and then take them on tour. So I'm very lucky with this album, and I've got a great bunch of guys, and we're all really excited about doing the tour, and it's a really big tour for everybody. So that's the way I'm going to carry on, I think. So when I go to the USA, I can't afford to take a whole band there. So I work with some guys over there who are really good when I do my USA tour, and the same in Australia.
All right, well, that's very good. Speaking of touring and all that, and just being a solo act, last year your former bandmates made an announcement that it seemed to be pretty damaging to you in the case of why the original Blaze group disbanded. Do you have anything to say about that, or anything to settle?
Well, really, I think they've got every right to be upset and disappointed. I was absolutely heartbroken and gutted by that I couldn't keep the band together. But that was it. I ran out of money. I had to make a difficult decision. It really hurt me, and I just tried to carry on. I can't say anything bad about them. They all worked really hard. They gave their best to the project and tried to make the band a success. But in the end, it's just too difficult to keep a band together. If you're playing this kind of music, I only sell a few thousand CDs each time. If I sold 100,000, I would still have a band together, a full-time band, but I don't, and not many people do. This is heavy metal. It's not popular music. It's an underground cult kind of music. There's a few heavy metal festivals around the world, but there aren't many small heavy metal bands that can be full-time musicians and make a living from music full-time. Hardly anybody that I know can. So that's just the reality of it. If you're not on tour, if you're not earning money and you're not selling CDs, you haven't got a band together. So that's it. And that's just really, really hard and tough. And it's not easy for anybody. And now I've been able to, start to live my life in a different way and be more positive. And a lot of the lyrics on the new album, King of Metal, are about that, about trying to be positive and overcoming the difficulties in your own life.
Yeah, it's always best to be able to speak from your heart and be able to have some type of music revolve around what has gone on in your life. How would you say that? How do you think the fans will take to your music scene? That apparently this is going to be a very personal record for you.
Well, my fans are used to personal lyrics and music from me. I do some songs about different stories and characters that inspire me, but also I've done a lot of very personal lyrics. On this album, there's a song about Dimebag Darrell, about the horrific murder of Dimebag Darrell. And a lot of the rest of the lyrics really are about trying to make your way through life and do the best that you can with what you've got, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. I come from a poor family, living in a mobile home with no proper water or sanitation. I come from nothing. And I got to the top of the world in my profession and written and performed with the most important heavy metal band in the world. And also I've fallen down and I've made bad choices and I've failed many times. Now, with the King of Metal album, I'm trying to come back. I'm trying to make it back. I'm trying to do the best work I've ever done and do the best live shows I've ever done.
Well, it seems like that your life has had a lot of obstacles to overcome, and would you say that it's been a very big obstacle to kind of show yourself as just being more as that one guy who used to sing for Iron Maiden?
Well, there's only 3 people who have been the ex-singer of Iron Maiden, and one of them went back. So I'm really proud of the work that I did with Iron Maiden. I'm proud of the albums that we made and the music that I wrote together with the band. And it's been a huge part of my life. I've learned so much. But now when I tour in Europe, I have a lot of fans who say, I don't care if I hear you play any Iron Maiden songs, you have enough of your own songs that I like, that it doesn't bother me. So what I do now is, if I go to a country that I haven't really toured properly before, and they're not so familiar with my own material, then I do some more Iron Maiden songs. But mostly, in most of Europe, then I do less Iron Maiden songs and more of my own.
Well, yeah, it's very good to be able to show off your own work, because since it's been a long while and you have put out a good amount of work under your own name and just making sure that people know that Blaze Bayley is still out there, that he still wants to put out albums and go on the stage. I'm sorry to ask about the Iron Maiden one more time, but I was just curious that there was basically little or no clarity at all as to what exactly caused your departure from Iron Maiden in the first place. Was it just that Bruce Dickinson wants to come back?
Yeah, somebody wanted Bruce to come back. Everybody was everybody was reforming at that time. Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Deep Purple, everybody was having a reunion, and so Maiden did the same. They said, Bruce is coming back, you're going. And it absolutely killed me. I loved being in Iron Maiden, I loved singing the music and being on tour, and writing with Steve Harris was absolutely fantastic, and I already had songs that I wanted to work on for another album, and that was it. They just kicked me out, and that was it. I had to do my own thing.
So you think maybe it was more of a commercial decision rather than having anything to do with your
Yeah, I think it's more business than music. I think it was more business than music.
How exactly? It's like you say that was very hard to take. Do you still maybe use that as a reason to still kind of get out there and still have that drive to create heavy metal that you are proud of?
I do it because I don't have a choice. It's just in me. I don't know why. I don't feel I have to prove anything to anybody. I've done incredible things in my career, so I don't have to say to anybody that, I don't have to say I'm good or anything. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I do it because I want to do it, and because there's something inside me that drives me forward. I don't know what that is. I love to sing, and I love this music, and whenever I can write my own songs and sing them to fans who appreciate that, it's a great day for me.
Well, that's great. You definitely always have the heavy metal community to lean on, just because we're a very loyal bunch of fans, and it's not something that we take very lightly. Speaking of the fans and just playing live and all that, you've been in this game for so long. How much longer do you think that you're still going to continue to be in the world of heavy metal?
Well, as long as it's heavy metal and I can sing, then I'll be writing and recording and touring. So that's it. I mean, heavy metal's pretty old now, and it goes in and out of fashion, but it never really dies. So I'm hoping it'll be the same for me. Ronnie Dio was my great inspiration, and the only, he died. He didn't give up. He didn't stop touring. He didn't want to give up. He died. He got ill. He got sick, and he died, which is a great tragedy. But he never stopped, and he never showed any signs that he was going to stop. And people like him, and people like Ian Gillan, and David Coverdale are still singing years and years on. Glenn Hughes. So I don't think there's any reason, as long as you have your health, I don't see that there's any reason to stop.
Well, that's definitely a good outlook. Speaking of playing live again, with the King of Metal being coming out in a little bit, are you planning to do any touring in support of the album?
Yes, if you go to blazebayley.net, there's a list of the tour dates that I'm doing, and I'm doing 50 shows to promote the album up until June, and then I'm hoping to do some festivals in the summer, and I'm going to Australia in November.
Oh, well, that's very good to hear. I'm sure that people all over are already clamoring to get tickets for your shows. When exactly is the King of Metal coming out, would you say?
The King of Metal comes out. It'll be available from my website from the 8th of March, and I'll be bringing copies of the album with me on my tour everywhere I go. So that'll be the first thing. Then the official release, when it goes into stores and it's available online, that will be the 20th of May. And I'm playing a gig near my home, a free gig called The Big Bash, near my home, to celebrate the album coming out on the 20th of May in the shops. But before then, on the 8th of March, it'll be available. If you come to one of my concerts, you'll be able to get the album.
Wow, that actually sounds really good. A free Blaze Bayley concert, you're definitely not going to pass that up. The 10th Dimension is one of my favorite albums. I thought it had a wonderfully aggressive feel to it, with quite a bit of old school roots in the world of heavy metal. I would actually, I'm wondering if you're going to be coming to the United States anytime soon to tour.
I'm planning to come and tour in the USA in September of next year. I'm just waiting for some things to be confirmed, but I'm hoping to be there in September of next year and do another tour in support of the King of Metal album.
That's great. Actually, my birthday's in September. If you guys could swing by Columbus, Ohio around the 23rd, that would be wonderful.
We'll do our best.
All right, great. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, obviously in the studio, to have this conversation with us here at Metal Blast.
You're welcome, and please check out my website, blazebayley.net, and check me out on Facebook, official Blaze Bayley. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of the fans that I met on the last tour, and thank you very much for your support and your encouragement, and thank you for making it possible for me to be a professional singer.
All right, well, thank you very much, Blaze. We really appreciate it, and I wish the best for you and your band, and the best for King of Metal.
Okay, thank you, mate.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You